Alright y'all, we're finally on Mygm this year. I want to determine whether Mygm is worth playing. Somebody in the comment section thought it was a good idea to challenge me on the amount of hats I had. Just cause, what? I got hats, alright? I just like this one a lot, it's fucking beautiful. But all of these menus is exactly identical, even in order, the exact order to what we've seen in 2K16. That goes with the sub menus as well, it's exactly the same, there's nothing different. So I guess the biggest thing should be the trade. So I'm gonna, well I've already made a couple trades just practicing here. We'll go with Tony Snell. And so now this trade works out, we'll see what they say. We like what we have, okay, that makes sense. Now, I'm gonna try and stack this trade so that I'm offering so much they just can't say no. So I'm gonna throw on my boy Jonas Valanciunas to make the contracts uneven. How uneven? 13 million. So I need 13 million on their side, and we'll get that from hopefully Taj Gibson. Oh fuck. Alright, so I stacked up 2 first-round picks, all unprotected aside from that Clipper. And a second-round pick, Jared Sullinger, Jonas, and DeMar. All I did on this side was get those hefty contracts that I don't even think the Bulls want, just so we can make this trade work out in terms of salaries so everything connects. I think I'll be pushing and using a little bit of my mid-level exception, but it's fine. Let's see what they say. We like what we have as far as... Alright, so now I have DeMar for Jimmy Butler. I'm giving up the Clippers pick, second-round pick, first-round pick, first round, and second round. These guys are both 2 players I've recently signed for hefty contracts, so they're about the same mark. The thing that worries me is you see me trying to make these trades, but when they talked about the new things that they added to this game mode, the main thing they talked about was the expansion, which is fine. I think the expansion is a dope idea, very clever, unique, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play, but people are going to burn out on Mygm faster this year than they did last year, because if that's the only thing they added, first of all, they didn't say one thing about the trade logic. The only time they mentioned the trade logic is when it came to the off season, because they said now you can trade at any time during the off season. So during if it's free agency you want to trade, now you can do that. That's the only time they mentioned trade logic. I get that it's unrealistic to always go for the best player, but we've seen great players in the NBA be traded, be moved around. We've seen this happen, and so I don't understand why, for example, let's do a player like Chris Paul. You know, he's been traded before, but no offers. If you're the guy on the team, and I get that for the most part it should be the same, but it's not dynamic is what I'm trying to say. When you hop on Mygm, unless you're using a different draft class, if you're using the draft class 2K gives you, you're gonna get the same exact results each and every single time. So if you do a Raptors Mygm and then you boot it up next time, there's gonna be nothing different. And because it's not dynamic, you feel like, oh, it's like you're doing the same thing over and over again. I mean, that was my fear, is the fact that they didn't talk at all about, very briefly about the trades, but I feel like that's the main thing they should have been talking about or focusing on, is the trade logic in Mygm. So last year they added relocations, this year they added expansions, and that's all in good. Those are neat little additions to make. But that's it. Alright, let's sim forward a little bit right now, up until November 26th. We'll see what we get. So we leveled up again. They got the same leveling system as last year. It's a lot easier to level up, at least so far. So level 3. We'll do negative owner trust. Yeah, we'll go with this one. It doesn't really matter. Alright, so let's continue to sim. Jared Sullinger says he wants us to try and extend his contracts. Sabonis and Robertson for Jonas. It's a terrible trade offer. We're winning some games, so coach, as Dwayne Casey says, agent, our game with the Knicks is up next. Our fans demand we win this rivalry. Be pretty sure no, you know, let me tell y'all, there's no rivalry between the Knicks and the Raptors. They might try and make it seem like there is, but there isn't. When I first started up the screen, our owner was like, I can't stand the New York Knicks, I can't stand them, you better make sure you win the season series. I'm like, yo, I live in Toronto, I'm telling you right now, nobody really thinks like that. Now, of course you want to win your divisional games, but no one's really thinking like that, like fuck the New York. No, I don't see no one saying that. So Green, Adams for Sullinger, I'm good. Alright, so we gotta do scouting, and in scouting, nothing has changed. And one of the things that I said maybe they need to work on is there's no, like, you know who you're gonna pick when you're scouting. It's so obvious. I'll show you guys how to scout if you didn't know. Each time, just sort by DE rank. DE rank is gonna be the most accurate prediction, and just choose all the top guys. Trust me, you'll have way more than enough time to scout like the top 25 guys 100%. And so you'll know by draft time exactly what you need to choose, but it's not like that in real life, and that's the part that I felt like they needed to improve. Is in real life, you don't know if you draft Ben Simmons, will he work out? I don't know, but it's not dynamic. I feel like it should be different each time. It shouldn't feel like I'm playing the same thing. Like if I boot up a Mygm 10 times, maybe 2 out of the 10 times I want Ben Simmons to like go down with the injury in his first year, or for whatever reason he just doesn't perform, and then he ends up the highest being maybe like an 83 overall, like his career is a flop, because we've seen that happen. And so when everything is this predictable, again, Mygm is not simulating what being a GM GM is like, not even close to. Let's view Team Intel. Team Intel was a neat feature they added last year's edition, and this year it looks literally identical, no improvements made. Which area team are you most currently pleased with? The same question we got from 2K16. And so I'm saying, like, let me decline. It feels like the same thing. It really does. Let's go with the +1 strength boost. And so, hey Agent, I thought I'd bring it to your attention. It doesn't feel like we're pushing these guys hard enough. This is easily the most frustrating part for me about 2K16 Mygm, is I don't want to be pestered with all of the stuff that I feel like a coach has to deal with. And why is practice intensity my job? Now don't get me wrong, the reason I stopped playing Mygm last year was because I started playing Myleague, and I was like, yo, why was I playing Mygm? Myleague's a lot better. And so I feel like off the bat, I already feel that way this year. So T-Ross comes to me already. It's the first month of the season, and he's complaining about the training intensity. Of course, Jalen Sullivan, that's a request you come to a GM about. He wants me to extend his contract. Let's start the conversation with Jared Sullinger and extend this bitch. Promise extension. Yeah, of course, I will. Don't even trip. Don't even trip. So let's go ahead to the extension. And if it's the same as last year, yup, it's in the same spot. Let's go ahead. He said he will re-sign. Oh, he wants a 2-year, $20 million deal? Do we even have that kind of money? I don't think we do. Let's see what he says to this. We don't have money to re-sign him the way he wants. Yeah, because we just got him this year. So, yeah, I'm going to walk away from this. So I guess we can't. And so he's going to be pretty pissed off about that. It feels like the same game. It's not terrible. I feel like if Mygm is your thing, go ahead and do it. But I don't want to be interrupted with Terrence Ross's complaints about training intensity every 2 seconds, because it doesn't feel like to me that's a part of what the Mygm experience should be like. There's no network. You don't have to build a network. You don't have to improve relationships. You don't have to do any of that. You just really, if I wanted to trade, for example, Damari Carroll, in fact, that's a bad example. He has a hefty let's do it anyway. It's a bad example, but you can literally click start, and in a matter of seconds, you have 20 offers in a few seconds from teams immediately that know what to do. And that's not, this is what Myleague should be like. My GM shouldn't be the exact same as Myleague, or else just put this shit together. My GM, I felt like, needed to be its own experience, and it's not feeling like it. This is, by all intents and purposes, outside of what the league expansion, which is also on Myleague, so you can do it on Myleague as well, is the same Mygm we seen last year. And so I guess for the people that are, if you're watching Mygm on YouTube, like it's pretty much like you're watching 2K16 Mygm with new skins. It looks more aesthetic. So man, fuck, I can't even finish this shit. I can't do it. I'm gonna hop on Myleague right now, because for the life of me, I can't play Mygm anymore with all the interruptions. I guess for me again, since I talked and made wish lists, is they didn't do, and I don't expect them to listen to me. I'm not like the fucking developer or anything like that, but I'm saying that's, I think, what a lot of people would have appreciated. And you can take a look at Mygm and know for 100% fact this year that they definitely didn't give a fuck about this game mode, because all the improvements they made on my career, which is actually a fun game mode to play this year, all the improvements they made on my team, and every single game mode they hit, it feels like, but Mygm, nah. Even on the blog where they were talking about Mygm Myleague, they barely talked about Mygm. In fact, if they made one mention of it, I think they only made one mention. All they were talking about was Myleague Online, which was great additions that I know for a fact I'm gonna like Myleague Online. Myleague, they talked about some of the new features within the game modes, but they barely made mention of Mygm, and that kills me, yo. I think it's dope that they added the new playoffs thing into the game, but I mean, for me, I think I know what I'm gonna do this year. I'm gonna mess with Myleague. Like, I can't do Mygm knowing it's the same exact thing from last year. Alright, I want y'all to let me know what you guys think about Mygm this year, if you guys have given it a shot. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. If you guys are new, we're dropping 2K17 content daily, so be sure to subscribe. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. And I guess I'm gonna start doing and recording some Myleague right now. We'll see how that goes. I'm out. Peace.